How are you doing today?
I'm fine. Thank you so much for having me here.
You're very welcome. And thank you for delivering a really interesting presentation to our delegates here in Bangkok on the future and the potential of AI in the organization. Generative AI in particular has become a very large topic of focus for CIOs and CISOs across the Asia Pacific. I've written about it extensively, and I'm beginning to see dozens of companies across Asia who are beginning to use generative AI very effectively in their organizations to not only deliver efficiency and productivity gains, but even plugging into product and service design and development processes. Where do you see, heading into 2024, where do you see generative AI being most valuable for the average organization in Thailand?
So one thing which I would like to tell you that generative AI is moving very fast. We saw the first version just a couple of months back, and then after that it moved to Gen 3, Gen 4, something like that. And so the culture out here, like certainly we want to actually adapt to a technology which is quite mature in nature. So one thing which is clear that in terms of adaptation, we certainly are way ahead and trying to actually adapt to the generative AI platforms with certain simple use cases. For example, queries. So there are many requirements or many situations where actually we can actually simplify those requirements for example, in the research and development office, especially in the biotech side of it, there are so many gazillions of research papers which are being published. A lot of big IP database which is there, and somebody has to search that particular database with the right kind of query with say a specific alternative protein molecule. So they can search it and they get relevant data information. Right, using that particular module.
Right.
So that is the simple application which we certainly would try to use it. Apart from that, also like in terms of there are other applications which we will look forward to. For example, in telemedicine aspect, when for example there's a huge network of doctors, and then there are the patients, and then for example, if I have say some health condition, for example, I have a throat infection and we have some small fever or something like that, and there are certain symptoms. Certainly, the ChatGPT or the generative AI can help actually in terms of telling me that okay, based on your symptoms, who is the right doctor who actually you should go for to make an appointment. So these are the simpler application which can be adapted, and we can see the response. Certainly in terms of technology and using it for the enterprise application, it's yet to be there because the framework is not that personalized. The security framework is need to be mature a bit more on that side of it. In terms of modification and alteration in the framework itself, it's not possible at the moment.
Right.
So that's the reason that we want to use simple and use it effectively for different use cases.
Now, let me drill down on these simple, immediate use cases that you've identified. In what sense is a chat or a ChatGPT based or augmented search query generative AI? As I understand it, the outputs of generative AI are new pieces of data, if you like. You throw something into an LLM with the hopes of getting something that has yet to be created out. In that aspect, do organizations regard query and search as a generative application?
Yes, but one thing which I would like to say here that with the LLM models and generative AI, one simple thing which is there that you do the query and you get the response which is a bit more accurate. You save the time. It is more human centric. Like it is more like the response is more human. So that is expectation which right now we can achieve from this kind of model. But beyond that, as I mentioned earlier, that this is something which still for the enterprise applications, which we still need to see that how we actually, especially in the framework side of a security framework and other aspects, needs to be checked and complied before we actually move to the next stage to utilize that in a different other use cases and conditions.
So, is it fair to say that many of these simple use cases that you see applicable now are more bottom line use cases, which is to say they have to do with making processes quicker, easier, more productive, so they save time or money?
Exactly. And for example, like it just reminds me of some other use cases. For example, generative AI is very good in generating those media content, be it in images, video content, and others. Certainly, like utilizing this model for that particular aspect is very useful, and especially on the creativity segments. Like for example, you have to create an advertisement with certain prompts. You can do it very quickly, and it will be very creative if you put up the right prompts on there.
Sorry to interrupt, but that raises, to my mind, another question of a market like Thailand, with obviously its own language and culture, and arguably less formally trained LLMs in Thai language. We hear all the time about the masses of data that were used to train ChatGPT and other LLMs that were spun up by the cloud giants or internet companies. In Thailand, is it possible to access and use a model that has been fully trained with data, information, images that all come from a Thai specific context?
Yes, so that's a research project which is certainly, like there are a lot of projects which are going on that direction, because since it is a language model, it uses specific neural network, which is actually very sequential in nature. So that is something which we have to prepare and make it ready for the language module for the Thailand. So that is something which is happening, certainly on the English side of it, or if it is which is neutral to English. So that is something which is already been trained. But when it comes to Thai, it has to be trained in that aspects as well. Yeah.
For a large organization like yourself, I would imagine that it is something that you would have to devote specialized resources in. In other words, it behooves large organizations to build their own models or generative AI capabilities. But would you advise small and medium-sized companies to directly invest in building their own AI capabilities, or is this something that they can buy, if not off the shelf or as a service, acquire through a solutions provider or a third party?
Yes, actually latter one is correct, because there are gazillions of startups and I would say fit to purpose Gen AI solutions for in different segments, so which can be actually leveraged. They are already well trained, and you can build on top of it very quickly, easily, because any solution, even for the CIO perspective, for the organizational capability perspective, time to market is important. So reducing the cost of development. So certainly, I think one thing is there that with the hype cycle of Gen AI, which is quite high at the moment, like last couple of months. So there are so many actually solutions, fit to purpose solution for different segments which are available, and we can pick and choose quickly and adapt to that and try and test and see the results.
So Saurabh, as a final question, we've talked a lot about how generative AI is right now proving very effective in helping resolve bottom line problems or challenges of efficiency, or helping increase time to market. When do you think organizations, yourself or others, will start to see widespread application of generative AI tools to help augment top-line capabilities? That is to say, when do you think the use of AI in product development or service enhancement for a professional services organization, when is that coming to the fore?
So if we actually slice it a bit, like in different problem statement and scenarios.
Okay.
For example, like software development.
Mm-hmm.
Now, software development became very, I would say, fast, and I would say codeless, like no code, low code kind of scenarios these days. Mm-hmm. And you can generate a code very quickly with the Gen AI platform. So that's something which is important. Mm-hmm. And you can build upon a new application very quickly. Mm-hmm. So certainly, if we drill down to those kind of use cases, certainly we are there. We can take a really effective use of Gen AI platform. Apart from that, I would say this is a very supportive, I would say, module for various industry use cases, be it smart city, be it anything which touches the consumer or the retailer and the buyer and the service provider or internal organization, anywhere, be it like enterprise ERP systems, right, HR systems, anywhere actually, it will find its purpose, and I would say it can be easily. I would say you can see the benefit out of it within the organizations itself. So I think it's a fast adaptive, and I would say when it comes to top line, it will. I won't say it is directly. I would say it impact the top line perspective, but it is supportive to that. Right. As I mentioned about the application development, for example, you're developing an enterprise application for certain market, I would say S-curve business line or something like that. So it will support you to actually try and test very quickly the market response of that application using Gen AI platform, if you develop that. So something like that is already there, and that is something which we can start using it, experimenting it, and delivering it faster.
Right, and presumably in the months ahead and well into 2024, this will be very readily available to arguably most companies in the region, I would imagine.
Right.
Excellent. Well, hopefully we'll have a lot more to talk about next year on the progress that Gen AI has been achieving in Thailand and the region at large. Thank you very much for your time this afternoon.
Thank you so much for having me here.
Great.
Yeah, nice to see you.